Hi guys, this is Book Lovers Bubble and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about how I'm going to compact my DVD, CD, playable medias, and even magazine collection. Not gonna lie, I used to be one of those people who show up to book sales early just so I can like snag all the medias that I wanted. I would try to get manga for really cheap for a couple bucks, and then I would also get like the ex-library DVD copies because they were so cheap. So I used to hoard a lot of DVDs and a lot of books from those library sales. And over time I had to downsize and pick out the DVDs that I really loved and the ones that I knew that I was going to rewatch. So in this video, I'm basically taking my DVDs and trying to compact them into binders, which is going to be like the first part of this video. So here I am taking out my DVDs, taking off the covers, the jackets, and I'm going to show you how I am going to organize this into 3-ring binders that I found off of Amazon. And I feel like this is kind of blasphemy for some DVD collectors because they're like, why are you taking everything out? Because discs are completely protected inside of these plastic covers, and for CDs it's like the jewel cases. So yeah, I used to really like them too, and the way it would look on the shelf, but like, you know, over time I feel like a lot of these things accumulate so much to where it takes up so much space. So I figured I need to come up with a solution to compact them as much as I can while still being able to keep the DVD content as well as the cover art for the DVD and CD as well. So for DVD specifically, I like to take out all the discs, and then on top of that I also take out the cover art. For the CDs, I'll take out the disc, and then I also take out the front cover art. I don't take out the cover art for the back side, I just take out the front side only, and I continue to do this until it all stacks up, and then towards the end I end up with this really large stash of plastic boxes or jewel cases, which I then recycle into the recycling bin. After that, I take my 3-ring binder and then also get these disc sleeves. One sleeve holds 2 discs on one side, and then the other side it also holds 2 discs as well. So the way I'm organizing my DVD collection, I take these plastic sheets, which is where I will lay out the cover art of the DVD flat and then put it inside the plastic sheets, and then put those into the 3-ring binders. After that, I take the sleeves with the disc inside of it and then put it behind the DVD cover art. So that way the cover art can be placed side by side with the DVDs it matches with. And I just repeat this process over into a little binder. I can also organize the binders into like Western DVDs, like American movies, series, and then another binder for my anime DVDs. And I do the same thing with another binder for my Thai BL dramas, etc. For my CDs, I pretty much do the same thing. These sleeves that I have specifically for the disc, I would put the CD disc at the bottom, and then I take the cover art for the CD and then I place it into the slot at the top, so that way I can like kind of keep them together. For the next page over, I place the cover art on top, and then that way you can see which CD it belongs to. I don't always keep the cover art for all of my CDs, but it's nice to have. I also like to use binders for art prints as well. I think most collectors tend to do this. If they collect art prints, you buy these A4 binders. It has 4 rings inside of them, and then you buy these transparent sheets which come in different sizes. Like some of them have like 2 pockets, 3 pockets, 4 pockets, all the way up to like 10 pockets. If you collect photo cards, you can store prints in them. The A4 binders work really well. The main difference between an A4 binder and a 3-ring binder is that the A4 binder tends to be slimmer and taller, whereas the 3-ring binder tends to be shorter and wider. So I like to collect the 3-ring and 4-ring A4 binders, and I often keep mostly just like the prints and photo cards in these A4 binders. Also, the A4 binders I'm using in this video is from like a German brand. I think it's called Leitz, or Leitz, and for some reason the binder is really expensive. It's like $20 per binder, but I really like this binder brand, and for some reason really good A4 quality binders are just so expensive compared to like 3-ring binders. So I try not to get too many of the A4 binders, but I'll get them anyways because I can store my prints in them and it fits nicely. But if you want to store medias like your disc, then a 3-ring binder does just fine. I also like to cut out labels for my binders, like the spine of the binders. You can use these 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, cut them up and like put it on the spine of your binders just to make it like a little bit more pretty. And then you can also use like a little small labeler to print out these stickers, and then you can label your binders on top of them. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to compact my magazines. These magazines are Thai magazines, which I bought mainly for my favorite actors. They are so expensive from Thailand, and I didn't tear these apart for like an entire year, but it's kind of a pain to keep because of how thick the magazines are. They get really heavy, and I own like some magazines are bought in sets, which means I own like duplicates of the magazines. They just have different covers with the same exact content inside of it, which is kind of annoying and space consuming. So what I decide to do now is I'm going to tear off the covers of each magazine, starting off from the back side, and then I work my way up to the front side, tearing it off, making it clean as possible. I take a scissor and then I pretty much cut off the cover, and then I will keep those covers. For the inside contents, I start off by taking a random page and then tearing it just to practice tearing the page pages out, and hopefully I don't end up tearing the pages that I really want to keep. So practice tearing before we tear the other ones. If you can do it, go ahead and just like remove the glue off the spine before tearing off the pages. So I'm doing that for every single magazine, and after taking every single magazine and all the pages that I want apart, I can really put the two piles next to each other and see how much advertisement I'm throwing away. It's a lot. I managed to reduce this like maybe by half or more, as you can see in this picture right here. For the amount of money I'm spending just for this section of the magazine, I'm sure throwing away like a good chunk of it, but I feel like it's worth keeping the parts that I only want to see rather than constantly flipping through a bunch of advertisements just to get to the sections that I want. And after I tear everything out, I will use these pages and pretty much put them into like a file folder. This is just an example, but I placed these Gemini 4th magazine into the A3 folder, and it's very large, but I plan on getting like a file folder that's 9 by 12 inches and putting these magazine sheets into them, which will compact my collection by a lot, and I don't have to worry about looking at ugly ads, because you know I have like a love-hate relationship for magazines. Like, I like the way magazines look, but I really hate all the advertisements that I have to flip through just to get to the section that I really want, and the section that I really want is also very small too. So I feel like if I just keep the covers and I keep the section that I want, I can save a lot of space. And these magazines are really expensive, so I did put a lot of time into it before tearing it apart, because you know, when you tear these magazines apart, they lose value and you can't really sell them off anymore. It will be like super cheap or like free pretty much. I plan on keeping these magazines in whatever section I have left, like forever. At least that's my intention for now, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Luckily, so far, no damages to the pages that I've torn out, and I will also be keeping the duplicate pages as well. Who knows, I might use it to scrapbook later on, or like use it for a binder cover. This is how I like to compact my collection for my DVDs, CDs, and magazines, art prints as well. Binders are pretty much the way to go. I wish I had done this a lot sooner, a year ago, when I first started collecting, because I would put all of my art prints into a cardboard box and it will pile and pile and pile up. And now I am spending so much time getting binders, spending hundreds of dollars on these plastic sleeves just to organize them, but I feel like it's worth it because it looks really good, it's organized, and I don't have to keep them in a box where it pretty much damages each other, because like when they're constantly moving around, the corners will get dented and all that. So if you have them in a binder, it's very nice, neat, organized, and it will protect your prints.